Syria, and happy Tuesday. I'm your host, Ruby. We have Guild Chat today on a special day because we are going to show you how I'm doing it too, how templates work. And so Clayton is with me, as almost always.
What's up, Syria?
And to teach us how to use templates is Amy. Amy, why don't you introduce yourself and talk about what you worked on for these?
All right. So my name's Amy Giannetti. Was on the gameplay programming team, and for the last while, I've been working on building gear templates, trying to get the underlying tech just to play well with what we wanted it to do. Because let's be honest, it wasn't capable of doing it before.
Yeah, you all have worked extremely hard. It's finally in a place where it's not ready to go out, but it is in a place where Amy can run me and Clayton through and show us exactly how everything works, what to do, how to use them, and that'll help you guys learn too.
Yeah,
All
Amy,
right.
You're a hero. Thanks for
You
doing
are.
this.
I'm one of a couple of people.
That's right.
Wasn't all me.
You're one
You're
of
right.
a few heroes, but you're a pretty big hero.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get started. What do you want us to do first to show us how this works?
Well, okay. Which are you more interested in, the build or equipment?
Let's start with builds.
Yeah.
All right. So let's
Cool.
go to the build tab in our hero panel then.
All right. So go to hero panel, which did not work for me because I'm on the wrong monitor. There we go.
Oops.
All right. So there are two big changes to this panel that'll be going out once build and gear templates are turned on live, and that is across the top of the right-hand side here. You will see there are now tabs across the top, and these are the tabs that contain the build templates for this character.
Okay.
So on this tab,
Sorry, real quick, you get to this just like you did with your builds before.
Yep.
Yeah.
This build
same
tab,
place.
the second tab under your hero panel.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
No problem. So yes, across the top we have the tabs that will contain your build templates for this character. So on this tab, I have a Soul Beast build, and on the left-hand side, we have a new section called Build Storage, and this stores builds across your entire account. So as you can see here, I have a Chronomancer build, Holosmith build, a Druid build.
I love
But these
the preview.
aren't. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I do
really
too.
happy with that too. It's just, you can mouse over them, get a quick preview of what they look like, but it's really just meant to be at a glance, get an idea of what kind of thing it is, what kind of skills and spec lines it's got in it. But the ones on the left here are not necessarily the ones that you have active on that character at this time.
Right. And these on the left are account wide. So like right now I'm on a Necro, but I got this awesome build from Clayton.
Yeah, another
that Amy and I
stolen
took
thing.
that Amy and I took after Clayton left the room.
Uh-huh.
So if I try
just
to
steals.
use this on my Necromancer,
Yeah.
build template is incompatible with my current profession. But if I switch later to a Guardian, then I can go ahead and bring that up.
Yeah. So if I, for example, on this character, wanted to go to tab 2, at the moment it's got nothing in it because this is a brand new character. But instead I had this Druid build saved for later. Oh, have I been saying I was a Druid the entire time? I think I was a Soul Beast. Anyway.
It's okay.
I can click on what was in my build storage here, and it will take it out of my build storage and put it on my second tab. And now I'm ready to go with a single click.
Yeah. And what it's overwriting is just what you happen to have.
Equipped right now.
Yeah.
So
if
it
you
works
have
the same way as it does right now. If you go and change a skill on your skill bar right now, your current build template remembers that. So you're gonna continue playing as you always did.
All right. So
Cool.
how do we? Oh, go ahead, Clayton.
I was just saying, this is cool. This is awesome.
Yeah, I really like it. So why don't we talk a little bit about how we stole this build from Clayton? Because technically,
Well, first,
what we were
You
doing
need to distract him
Yeah.
with
Yes.
sugary foods out in the
Tell
hall.
him there's some new M&Ms in the kitchen,
Right. There's some Reese's Pieces.
or that your sandwich is unattended.
That, right. And
Yes.
it's ready. It's fresh out of the oven. And then I run
All right.
out.
But sometimes people will be okay with sharing their build. So then what do? What if I want to share my Power Minion Master build with you?
Okay, well, there's a couple of different ways to do it. Easiest way is to treat these tabs or these entries in build storage as though they were an item. You can shift click to get it into your chat and send it, although I guess we've got that covered. Maybe I should... Oh, yeah, no, we can say it. So, and that will come up in chat. And as you saw there, I'm just going to send this again.
I'm sending
You can mouse over it there.
Oh, what?
I'm gonna
What?
take
Why
it.
is it not working again? There
wait,
we...
hold
there.
on.
Remember that one time we said that this was not ready? This might be part
We
of
still
that.
got some bugs. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're working through it.
All right.
And then from that chat link, you can... What I will do here, I'll click on your Reaper build that you sent
Okay.
across. And when I click on it...
Oh, that's not the one I meant to say. Whatever.
The one you sent. It looks like a gorgeous build. Not that I
It's
could tell.
just great for open-handed, no-weapon fighting.
Well,
Okay,
this brings
so-
up the new inspect window. So you can inspect a build from any profession. One of the things that I hope I called out well enough, the tabs across the top of your build panel, they can only contain builds that match your character's profession. But you can inspect a build for any profession so that you can determine whether or not it's even worth saving into your account-wide build storage. So from here, you can actually, although the little tooltip preview that we were looking at before just shows the icons, here you can actually mouse over them, get the full details of what the skill does, any additional conditions that it'll apply, as though you were looking at it in your build panel. So that's the inspect window. And from there, you can copy it again. You can store it into build storage, which I'll do here. There we go. Now I've got a Reaper build stored. Your Reaper build stored.
For your necro later.
For my necro later.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. So I have a Chronomancer build up right now, and it will warn you. I feel like most people are going to be aware that, hey, I'm not currently a necromancer, or I'm not currently whatever I'm inspecting, but we save people from themselves as much as we possibly can.
The other thing that will warn you is if there are elements of the build that you don't have yet trained, if it uses an elite spec that you haven't purchased yet, or that comes with a purchase that you haven't made yet. You can still take that build and put it on you, and have it there so that when you do eventually unlock it, it will automatically apply it to you.
Okay, so if you try to load up this build and you don't necessarily have all of those things unlocked, does it just fill in what it can?
And it fills in what it can.
You
the
can
rest
fill in the gaps
will,
with what you do have.
The rest will display there. They'll be grayed out or have a lock icon, depending on whether it's because it's untrained or if it's just you're too low level to use it.
Sure.
So it'll be grayed out. But you can see what's coming.
So I have an example of that on my screen right now.
Oh, great.
I switched from my Guardian Vanilla to my Firebrand. So when I'm in Firebrand, I have access to Axe, right? Because that's what that elite spec does. And then when I switch over to my Guardian Vanilla, oh, do you like that? Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
can I
not be
have
stolen
that?
by Ruby build.
Can you go just grab me a drink real quick?
No, I'm not falling for that again. And then when I switch to the Guardian, which would mean to say I don't have access to Axe anymore, the Axe, what's really neat is it stays equipped. I can't use it, so that protects against I guess what I have slotted in my build. Not getting broken or having to reslot.
Yeah, it's not going to kick the items that are in your equipment template out.
Sure.
It's really awesome.
So yeah, the other thing, you can obviously rename your builds however you want.
Which I have, Amy.
That's not like a pre-made build that we have that you can get in-game. All right, so what happens if I decide I feel really bad about stealing Clayton's build, and I just want to take it out of my template because he's not moving past this anytime soon?
Okay.
Just
Well,
right-click.
right-clicking on any of those entries or any of the tabs brings up more options for you there, and one of those is to delete it.
I will not.
Oh.
I'm attached to this build now. I have no Guardian on this particular client, but I'm keeping it anyway just in case.
Oh man, you're really digging in. Okay. All right. Noted.
I feel like now at this point we should emphasize that this does not actually take the build away from Clayton. He still has it. You're okay.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Okay.
Go back to Firebrand.
Yeah. So we're starting you out with. I've unlocked a couple extra, but we're starting you out with 3 and 3.
3 and 3.
Um,
No, 3 and 2.
I'm sorry, 3 and 2.
Oh,
Can you-
sorry. 3 build
I feel so bad,
tabs.
too. Tabs are the ones up at the top.
And
Yeah.
there'll be 3 build storage tabs
Yes.
automatically
left.
unlocked, and another 3 you can grab from the gem store.
Yeah, those
Sure.
will be free for a month. We're still working on the fine tuning of what those are going to cost. They're going to be in line with other storage options that we already have, like bag slots and bake slots and that kind of thing. But we are still fine tuning that. The other 3 that you can unlock for free that Amy was mentioning, those will be free for a full month after we release these, so you have plenty of time to get in there and get those free ones.
And that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because like what this allows you to do for the equipment stuff is like it takes it out of your inventory. So we're clearing what would seem to be a ton of inventory space from you, which is really awesome.
It's so disorienting that you're over there.
I know. I'm having to turn around. I'm sorry, Ruby.
No, it's
this is
okay.
different.
We're in a very small area, but yeah.
And so, Amy, you were saying the 3 tabs up top.
Mhm.
These are character specific.
Yes.
So each character will have their own specific 3.
Yes, they
they'll
will.
have.
And on day 1, they'll be pre-populated with
Right.
your PvE, PvP, and WoW builds.
Right.
Because right now on live you have 3 builds already.
Right.
So those are the 3 that we will be using to populate those 3 tabs.
And the 6 on the left, which includes the 3 free ones,
Yes.
those will be account.
Those will be account wide, yeah. So
Okay.
you can put whichever ones you want in there.
Cool.
And yeah, other thing. So you were asking about copying. Something we forgot to mention was you can also just right-click on the tab, and there's the option to copy it. That will actually put it in your clipboard so that you can just Control V to paste it into chat or outside of your game client. And similarly, if you were to copy a link that is of the appropriate format from a website, you can now come and paste it directly into one of your build tabs or into your library. Sorry, build storage. We have so many internal names that I'm trying to not using.
If you get a little bit muddled on which is which, you just hover. These are your build templates down here. Account build storage. So this is what's account wide over here on this side.
Correct.
That is helpful. Yeah. All right. So do you want to talk about how to set one up in the first place? If you're starting from scratch, you don't have anything to copy from, and you've got a new character, because these can be used starting. I mean, you don't have to have legendary equipment. You don't have to be max level. You can start using these right out of the gate with a new character, a new game.
Certainly can, yes. So, Ruby, why don't you give it a shot there? Your third tab looks like it's completely empty and never been used before.
It's sad.
It is sad, and you can see on your skill bar at the bottom, you've got no skills
I have nothing, and the flashing is making me insane.
So, well, let's fix that. It just same as you would now, just equip skills, whichever skills you think make a good or not good build. If you just want to,
this is an incredibly garbage build because I'm just like throwing whatever in there.
Well, make sure you change build template 3 name to garbage build.
I will.
Okay.
I 100% will. Okay. All right. We're gonna be spite. This is fantastic. I'm gonna make people are just like bleeding out the ears right now at how bad this is.
Magic.
All right. So we're just gonna go all the way across the top.
This is like when you're rushing to finish a test and you're just like C.
Yes, all of the answers are C.
Yeah.
All right, so I have everything filled in. This is the best build ever for Necro.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
With the racial skill too.
Yeah, because why not? All right, so I've got this terrible build. What do I do now?
Now you can run around and have fun with
it. Now I leave in shame.
Yeah.
Okay, but I want to save this as garbage build.
Okay, well,
so
right next to the name there is a rename. Oh, no, don't think.
Let's delete this so I have room.
Okay.
Oh, you want to save it to your account?
You want? Okay.
Yeah.
Storage.
So, if you've got an empty slot there, literally just clicking on it will take it from the tab and put it into your build storage.
All right.
Okay.
And there it is.
This is a garbage build. Nope. I keep clicking instead of right-clicking. So right-click. I'm gonna rename this.
Nice.
Ta-da!
But you also want to, or can, rename the top one as well on the tab.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Nice.
Ta-da!
So, if you are someone that wants to have a lot of builds in your build storage, and you've got a lot of them there, and it's a giant list, we do have ways for you to filter and sort through them. So you can filter to just a particular profession that you're interested in looking for. So if I just want to see all the Mesmer builds that I've got, I can just filter to that. Or I can sort them, I can group them by profession, or alphabetically on what I've named them, or just search by text name. So,
Zerk.
Zerk.
All right, so yeah, if you do have a ton of builds, we are going to save you from endless scrolling. And just hold on, guys. I'm almost ready. I'll be right there.
Yeah.
Where did I put it?
I can't remember. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that is the majority of builds. As a ranger here, something just worth pointing out, it does remember the pets that I have selected
Oh,
here.
sweet.
And similarly for Revenant Legends, it remembers the legends, as well as for your inactive legend, what order you put the skills in. Because you can
Really?
change those
Okay.
to be in any order you want. It's always the same 3 skills, but they can be in any order, and so it remembers which order you've put them in.
Okay, awesome. All right, so we have...
I have one question.
Clayton has a question.
The max, is that the max amount of account storages that I have for my account on the side here? Do we know?
That shows the maximum that you can purchase right now.
Okay, cool. Do you know that number? Or should I just count?
Because after a certain amount, it's going to get scary and things will start getting code scary.
Yeah, I think right now, I think the number is at 24.
Yeah, okay. Awesome.
Okay, speaking of questions, we have a whole bunch from the forums right here. Do you want to start answering these?
Well, we've only covered half the system,
Okay.
so should we cover the other
Do
half?
you want to? Okay.
Because
we
some
can
of
totally
these
do that
will interact with both.
Yeah, we can do that in whatever order you want.
Let's
okay.
go with the other half before, because that might answer some of them as we go
Okay.
by.
All right, hit me.
All right, so equipment templates are surprisingly in the equipment tab of the hero
What?
panel.
Madness.
I know, right? So even within the equipment, it's the first tab again called equipment. And again, we have tabs across the top of the right-hand side that contain your equipment templates for your character. Now I've only set up one on my character here, but similarly to build templates, to swap to a new one, you just click on the next tab. And
Hey.
well, I haven't put anything in this.
I have
in
nothing.
This one, so me neither. So, but in your second tab,
there you go.
You can start equipping some items into the second tab, and they don't have to be the same. You can, they can be. You can reuse some of the items that you had used in the first tab, but you could also use different ones. You could use different weapons, different equipment.
And dyes carry over, which is really awesome.
I'm realizing I forgot to dye my character. I was focused on getting ready, and yeah.
Yeah. So my firebrand has a bunch of condition based gear and stuff like that, Condi stuff, right? And then my dragon hunter has a bunch of berserker, which is cool.
Your dragon hunter has a bunch of berserker? Fantastic.
Yeah. And then different dyes. So
yeah, let's take a look at yours.
Yeah, so we got a nice away uniform here because I'm a Tennessee Titans fan, so of course I try to do the colors for that, my favorite football team, and then switch it up for the other one here. All baby blue and dark blue.
Big.
Yeah, and all the aquatic stuff and the accessories change as well.
Yeah. So similarly to, again, the build templates, if you mouse over the tabs, you can get a little preview of
what it looks like.
Yeah, what it's going to look like, the change in stats that you're going to be seeing from the items. So, as you can see here, my first tab is going to be giving me more toughness, healing power, and condition damage, but less power, precision, and ferocity than my currently equipped one. And in it, it has a staff and a longbow, instead of the current one, which has a great sword and short bow. The other thing it will remember is which runes you've placed in items, if they can be freely swapped out. Like in this case, I've got a set of legendary gear, and I have reused it here. You can tell it's reused in another tab by this little link icon that's here on the top left. And then in each one, I can go and use different runes. in this set,
That's really cool.
and or I can reuse the 6 runes of air that I had used in tab 1, because in tab 1 I'd used 6 runes of air. I could reuse those. They're sitting in this linked armory pool, so that I could reuse them. But I've decided to use. Well, apparently I mixed and matched ogre. Not quite sure how. Which one did I miss? Is that the only one? No, apparently I missed a lot more than I thought. Now I have 6 runes of the ogre. So if I go back now to the tab 1, I should see 6 runes of the ogre sitting now as linked items. And yeah, so I can reuse those again in another tab if I wanted to. Same thing works for infusions as well.
Okay, so if you have this base set of armor, and you want to have several different configurations with it, you can use that and just swap back and forth between them pretty quickly.
Yeah, like
Okay.
in this first tab, I believe my equipment, what did I customize it to? I think they were all apothecaries. Yes. But in this tab, they were all berserkers. Yes, I made them all berserkers. So, same piece of equipment has different stats, can have different infusions, different runes, sigils. So long as the item can freely pop that upgrade without costing you anything.
Mhm.
So this also applies to legendary runes and sigils as well. They can be freely popped out of an item, so they can be reused in another item in another tab.
Okay, awesome. And these are per character?
Yes.
Okay.
Because items are stored in your character's equipment pool, and that character is an entry in the database, and we load one of those at a time. So we don't have all your characters loaded all at once. We can't access all of their equipment at once.
Okay, that's good to know why. All right, what else?
I'm drawing blank right now.
It's a lot, right? All right, so your character starts with 2 equipment templates?
Yes,
per character.
correct. Yeah, on live you only have 1, so you're getting 2 now.
That's awesome.
With the ability to get more.
Yes, and
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Any other questions for me?
How about you, Clayton?
No, I think that covers it.
I don't-
You rename it just like the other ones. which is
Oh
really
right.
cool.
Oh right. Yes, of course.
You can
you
copy,
can right click on the
paste.
tabs.
And you can unequip all items like really quickly if you wanted to just like nuke it, scorched earth style. I hate this build. Redo it. So that's cool.
Unequip.
Also, a note if it's not compatible with what I currently have,
It will tell you. Yeah.
it's not used with my current build.
Yes, although I think there's probably something that is fine and bugs. That's why it's not released yet.
Yes,
So
it's actually kind of important to mention that there are still a lot of little things that you guys are ironing out. So it will be ready and not wonky for you on the 29th. I really want it to be the 29th. I'm ready to start playing.
yes.
On live.
Yeah. It's been a long time coming. We've been playing with them a lot internally and had them there for so long, and then I go and play and they're not there. And right.
Well, we just had
I have to do this the hard way.
We had a little bit of this about an hour ago when we thought we had something, and oh, hold on, that's not ready. We're still working on it.
We're still working on it.
Yeah.
Yes, and so the other thing worth noting is any of these items with link icon on them are not taking up any space in your inventory anymore. You can see, even though I have the staff and I can use it again, it's not taking up any space in my inventory. So we're getting back some inventory space, but if you want to get that back, it's now on that character. So if you want to get it back to use on another character, you can right-click on it and unequip it from all equipment templates.
That's 18 slots. I was just counting because I was curious. That's 18 slots plus any amount of runes and sigils that you also link.
Yep.
Oh, it's yeah. If you're curious about the math,
Yeah.
Each equipment template can store. Now, assuming we had to future-proof this, so we had to assume that everything one day would become legendary and could store, so it could freely pop items. So assuming everything was legendary, it stores 60 unique items.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
Per tab.
Per tab.
Per tab.
Per tab.
Yes.
Fun
So,
times. Fun times.
So yes,
So enjoy your
So
16.
yes.
Enjoy
it's a lot
16
of potential inventory space. If each one,
That's cool.
if someone wanted to create a really weird random build that had different runes for every item and different sigils and every infusion was different, I don't know why you'd ever want to create such a build, but the code has to handle it, so we had to make it handle it.
So
Yeah.
now, as a designer in content open world, I can create tons of events that require you to pick up all the things and put them in your inventory because I could just no, Ruby's giving me that. No, don't do
No.
that. Okay, you're right. That's a bad idea. I won't do that.
I don't
just
like
kidding.
But yeah.
Cool.
Before I forget, though, if you want to get that item back, like I said, it's because it's tied to your character and it's your character's equipment. It's not in your inventory. If you want to get it back to give to another character, there is a right-click option on the item to unequip it from all of them. Now, here's a fun thing for you. If this helm, I have this helm here that has a superior rune of ogre in it. And in here, it has a superior rune of air. What happens if I try to unequip this helm from all of my templates? What runes do I get back?
I'm so excited to find out. Tell us, Amy.
Well, this is a pretty simple situation. If I unequip it, I'm going to get, well, a warning just to let me know that, hey, this is used in other templates, and it might result in other items getting unequipped, such as that other rune. So yeah, I do get
You both back.
the helm with the rune of air in it because that is what I'd had when I unequipped it. And although it's hard to see because it's stacked, I got another rune of the ogre back as well. So I've got 5 instead of 4.
So you're not losing anything.
No, you're not losing anything. But what if you only had 1 rune of air in the first tab and you used it in the shoulders in the other one in another tab? That other equipment tab still needs to keep that item. Needs to hold on to that 1 rune of air. So you wouldn't get it back. You would have gotten your ogre rune back from the other tab because the helm was no longer using it.
Right.
But if this first tab had only had 1 rune of air in it and the second tab had reused that in a different piece, well, that tab still needs it, so we can't give it back to you. And these are all of the fun edge cases that we've had to try and deal with.
All of the things that you, because on one hand, it is fantastic, and I like knowing that you set this up so you can use this right out of the gate from level 1 in your infinitely complicated level 1 build, I guess. Or I should say level 2, all the way up to full legendaries, everything across the board. Because that's a nice, all-encompassing solution, but then you have all of these tiny little edge cases that you guys have been
so many
poking
edge
at.
cases and upgrades for a nightmare.
I
Trying to figure them out.
Sorry, I had one question. What happens if I don't have any inventory space? Does it do the thing where it's like
When you get your stuff back.
When you get your stuff back, it should go to your overflow.
Okay.
And then you can't touch your inventory until you clear it out.
Right.
What are you doing with a full inventory?
Clean
Stop
up
it.
your bags, you're hurting me.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay, so yeah, it doesn't just vanish into the ether.
That's good.
It hangs out in your overflow until you have space.
Yeah, and you should be really clearing out your bags.
Seriously, you guys, come on. Okay. All right, so what else?
That's the other, I don't know. Yeah, the other thing that comes to mind, there were 2 headaches really for us in this, and one was upgrades, trying to make sure that we didn't lose track of them, because the moment they get put into an item, they get destroyed, and when you pop it back out, it gets recreated. We had to make sure that A, we didn't lose any players' items. That was really important. And B, that we didn't duplicate any items, because that would destroy an economy. And,
oh gosh.
So there were a lot of inventory changes, and that's very scary code that mostly we're not allowed to touch. So
yeah, once we start touching player inventory,
yes,
and we start touching your things, that gets a little terrifying.
Yeah.
So we have tried to be as careful as we possibly can, and written numerous, also some automated tests to try and make sure that everything's good. And yeah, it's been a long time coming. That was the main headache for equipment templates in builds. That was Revenants. They've just been a pain.
Revenants cause complications for a lot of different things. We love them, but they just come with that caveat.
They're a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They the way they swap legends, and then they have different skills, and the way the skills are laid out is very different in
They're a
our skill
special
system. So
little snowflake.
they've had to have had a lot of special casing put on them. So yeah.
So Revenants, you got all the love. You got extra love.
so much.
All right. So do you want to look at these?
Sure. Yes.
Okay, so I'm actually very interested in this first one. I'd like to know when you can swap, how often, and what it does to your cooldown. Which I think they mean skills cooldown, because I can see, okay, I'll just hop out of this build and come back and it's magically new again.
Well, it's changing your skills the same way you would change your skill. So when you swap to a new build, it's as though you went and changed the skill yourself, which you now can do with your skills on cooldown, which we added, what was that, a year ago now? Kind of in preparation for this. So you can change, I believe right now, the number we're using is the same as a weapon swap, which is about half a second. When you can do it, it's so long as anytime you should, again, be able to change your skills, which would be out of combat, of course. And the main limitations will be, like, in a PvP match, you can't. You can't change your build in a PvP match, so you can't change your template you can't swap to a new tab in a PvP match. We've added a buff for designers to give them the control of when you can and can't change build. The idea being, now this is just an example, I'm not sure what the final implementation will be, but for WoFWA, you can only change an equipment tab in the keep. But once you've left the keep, you can't change a tab. You can't change which tab is your active tab. You can still go in and change the skills in a tab, so long as you're out of combat. But you can't run around a corner, duck out of combat, quickly change your build, and then come back around the corner, and now your enemies have no idea that you've got a completely different setup.
Okay, but that's still being implemented, you said?
I'm not sure what the final design will be, but we wanted to make sure that kind of a thing wouldn't happen.
Gotcha.
We didn't want you
pop out, surprise, I'm a Scourge.
Yeah, that makes sense.
When you ran away as a Reaper.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so to be super clear, and I'm just like looking at my wonderful Hounds Balthazar skill, has a 240-second cooldown. So I use it, I pop that skill, I have like 200 seconds left on my cooldown. I pop out of this build, pop back.
I believe if I remember correctly, because it has been a while since I've tested this out, the cooldown carries over onto the new skill that gets equipped.
It's not magically renewed, like, okay, now I can use it again. And suddenly my 240-second cooldown becomes a 30-second cooldown.
I mean, we can test this right now.
Let's see. Okay, let me remove this. All right, so pop that.
Now go to your...
Back up here.
Oh, this is something we forgot. Totally forgot.
Okay.
But let's go. Yes, so the cooldown has carried over.
Cooldown has carried over.
You still have... It's a different skill. Even on your elite skill there is still...
Oh, yeah.
Whatever that is. But it's still got that carrying over that giant cooldown.
All right.
So something we totally forgot.
Tell me.
Keybinds.
Oh yeah, keybinds. Jeez.
Whoop.
I have a loaded question.
They're down at the bottom. You got a question?
You have a loaded question while Amy's setting up?
Yeah. Well, it's about keybinds, so I was just curious. We have a question here that says, does switching equipment and build or traits require separate hotkeys?
It does right now, yes.
Okay.
We are hoping to create a system that allow you to kind of set up, choose one build, one set of equipment, and like maybe which game mode you want it to default with. Like these are plans for the future. But for now, the implementation is there is one keybind for build and one keybind for each build tab and one keybind for each equipment tab.
Cool.
Okay.
So set it up as you would any other keybind. One's going to be my second build tab, and this is going to be my second equipment tab. Now, if I just use those keybinds, I am quickly changing between my two builds, which I believe are very, very similar. Although one is the Druid, and the other
Nice.
is a Soul Beast.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. I'm glad you remembered that.
Yes, me too. Very glad.
All right.
All right, so what was next here?
Can you keybind equipment templates?
Yes.
Or rather, hey, good question. Or rather, can you keybind both skill templates and equipment templates together to switch to both with one key?
So yes, not right now.
Okay.
We do hope to make it so that you can, but not right now.
Okay. Let's see.
So, do we have to buy equipment templates to quickly switch to, or can I load up some link and use the equipment for my bags? Yes, totally. If you don't want to use the system and keep the items in your bags, you can totally do that.
Okay. Will skin templates also be included with this? Will different equipment have a different look, or will the skins and dyes save on the equipment with the template? We sort of answered part of that.
So right now the skin that is going to be displayed is the skin on the item that you have equipped. So if you change the skin on the item, yes, it's going to display a different skin. What this isn't is a wardrobe template. Again, something we'd love, really, really love. I'd love to make happen, but that's down the road. There are many design, engineering, and also like economic questions, like what happens to transmutation charges if we decide to do this. So there's still a lot of open questions there that need to be answered before we can commit to anything like that.
That's fair. All right. If equipment is on another character, does it automatically transfer if both have it in their equipment template?
Well, hopefully we did answer this earlier. Equipment can't be on multiple characters at the same time. If it's equipped to you, it's on. If it's on one character, it's in that character's database entry, and the other character is in another database entry. So, yeah.
All right. We sort of answered this one too. If we're trying someone else's build and we don't have the stat-related equipment, what's the default? An open slot or a last equipped item or something else?
So there's a little bit of confusion in this question. If you're trying out someone else's build, yes, if you don't have all of the skills or traits trained yet, it will have it on you kind of grayed out. You won't get the effects of that trait, obviously, or be able to use that skill. But it will be there so you can see what you're heading towards. Also, something we don't have, I don't have a character here prepped for this, but if it's a low-level character and it has that skill there, you can click on it and it'll take you to the training wheel so that you can spend hero points to train on. So you know which training wheel to start spending points on to get that skill or trait unlocked.
Oh, good. So that's kind of helpful, and we'll guide you there.
Yes, but we don't have chat links for equipment templates because these are storing your actual items. They aren't a choice from a table of skills. They're actual loot that dropped that became a real item for you.
Okay.
And other people don't have that item.
That's fair. All right, so we answered this one. Do build templates include ranger pets and revenant legends?
They do.
All right.
My ranger is happy.
Yay! Let's see. Will the game understand where I saved my infusion? Will it remove infusions from legendary item 1 equipment template to place them into another legendary item in another equipment template? There's a lot.
I think the answer, if I understand the question correctly, is yes. And hopefully we showed that. You can reuse your upgrades, which is your runes, the sigils, and your infusions. If they can freely pop out of the item, you can reuse them in another tab. And along with all of the engineering headache that came with it to make sure we didn't lose track of them or orphan them in this new armory pool.
Are you okay? It was
PTSD.
This has been going on for a while.
Yeah.
Let's see. How do character-bound build template tabs interact with account-bound build storage?
Well, they don't necessarily at all. They're completely separate storage locations, and you can take from one into the other. You can take from a character tab, you can put it into the build storage, or you can take from build storage and put it into a tab. But they are separated. If you make a chain, if you save what's in this tab 1 into your build storage and start making changes to what is in the tab, it does not update what's in your library, what's in your build storage. So once you put it in your build storage, it's stored there, it's remembered unless you want go and change it yourself, override it with a new build, it's going to stay the way you remembered it.
Okay, perfect. Let's see, where are we at? I would like to know if I need to move Ascended gear to inventory from my bank manually each time before using equipment templates.
Well, the inventory and the bank don't really factor in the equation anymore. Once they're equipped into equipment tab, they're going to go into this new inventory pool that we called the armory internally, and they will get stored in there, and you can reuse them from there in multiple tabs. So the your inventory and bank don't really factor in that much anymore.
Okay, except that you get some free slots.
Yes, you get them back for more loots.
Yeah.
And I like loots.
Me too. Do you know the answer to that?
I believe I do. So, are the character build time like cost? So
Can you
have
get
3 packs?
3 packs? Yeah.
They're not intended. No, I don't believe you have to purchase 3 of the tabs at a time.
Okay.
It's just the account, build, storage that are 3 at a time.
Okay. Let's see. The pre-made PvP and WoW build templates that are per character, can you make that just for PvE instead of those game?
So as I mentioned before, when this goes live, you'll have your 3 build tabs, and they will be pre-populated with your PvE, PvP, and WoW builds. But you don't have to use them for that. You can make all 3 of them PvE builds if you want to.
Yeah.
If you don't play those game modes, or you can leave it as it is and have one set aside for each game mode. So you can use any of them in any game mode. You're not tied to the first one can only be used in PvE,
Right.
or the second one can only be used in PvP. You can use them anywhere you want.
These are for you to use however you need. So, all right. Will it still be possible to change skills, traits, and equipment manually if we want to? For example, I often swap a spirit for Signet of the Hunt on my ranger if I need the speed boost somewhere I can't use mounts. Will I need to have 2 almost identical build templates to do that, or can I just change the skill like I do now?
You just change the skill like you do now. That will change, like we said. The system mirrors very much what you do on live right now. If you change that skill right now, it changes what's on your skill bar. You don't go into your build panel, make a bunch of changes, hit apply, and then have those changes on you. When you make a change in your build panel, it's applied to you right now.
Yeah.
And it'll be the same going forward.
I'm changing my skill palette right here and looking simultaneously at my build template, and it's just auto updating.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Excuse me. Okay, so here's a fun one. How long has this been in development in total?
In total? Okay, so the design for this started back, I think it was like last November, I want to say, maybe October even, with Byron. Oh yes, huge shout out to Byron.
Yes,
yeah,
very
Byron.
much. Yay, Byron.
Say
last November?
No, sorry,
before.
About 2 years ago almost.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of back and forth trying to catch, at least in the design phase, even these edge cases that we've since brought up. And there are many, many more that I'm sure we'll dive into at a later time. So not until the following April, so last April, did engineering work really start kicking off. And, well, our code always ships. So build template code is kind of slowly eking out since last April.
Really?
Just kind of run quietly in the background.
Just doing its thing.
A lot of it, like a lot of the messaging had been turned off, but the logic of, oh, hey, you changed the skill, I better take note of that. The system's been listening and been working away in the background. And we'd set up some tests to run through every character, make sure that everyone on live right now has a valid build, because the other things you can create a chat link, right? You can go and try and create a bad build out of that, like literally a malicious build, obviously. So there was a ton of validation we had to write to try and catch all of the bad cases of like having skills from multiple races or 2 elite specs and all of these things that shouldn't be possible. And I've forgotten where I was going with that.
That it's been in development for a long time. I think,
right, yeah, we were testing all of the live characters, and I think I'll leave it to Paul to catch to say some of the things that we found. But yeah, there were a couple of characters that helped us to really nail down that the builds that everybody has on live right now are fine and that they're good. And it's taken us a long time to write this validation to try and wrangle the system that didn't want to stop people from hurting themselves as well, from creating builds that have 2 different racials or multiple elite specs that then the system's just going to go, nope, you have nothing. Like, we don't want you to shoot yourself in the foot.
Yes.
So there's been a lot of just trying to tighten things up, make sure that everything works well. And I think, that was build and gear. When did we start gear? It was closer to the beginning of this year, that we really kicked things off on the gear side, because we did build half first and then the gear. And that was kind of a pretty... it was easy but also difficult at the same time, because your weapon skills are part of your build. There's no dodging that. But the skills and traits, those are things you can freely change. There's no cost to that. But whether or not you have a short bow, that's gonna potentially cost your character some money. And if you want to just quickly change to a greatsword, well, maybe you don't have a greatsword. So the line kind of has to be drawn there between the 2 systems of one uses items and the other uses freely choosable things.
Right. Which
is why also the build template system here will work in PvP just fine. So yep.
So you can still use it in PvP.
Yes, you can definitely still use the build templates in PvP. PvP equipment is a whole other beast, because it doesn't really use items. It uses your equipped weapons, but your amulet, I think your amulet, your sigil, and your runes, they are more similar to like a choice as opposed to an actual item. So it was again another system that has to be written, another system that's going to have to require all of this validation, all of this QA time, and so figured we get three quarters of what we got out and get everyone to try it out, enjoy what we've been
let you go ahead and let you guys have this.
So it's been a long time coming, basically, is what I gotta say. So
it has, and you guys have put in so much work. So shout out to Byron, but also shout out to you and to Paul and
Duncan and Kai and James.
The list just goes on. So here's a related question. How many test cases did QA have to run for this? Was there even a number? Does that...
I don't have the exact number. That'd be Peter, who also... there's been a lot of, testing. Like I said, this has been in development for a long time. So a lot of it was kind of testing along the way. As we started changing things, Peter would, every couple of weeks go in, test it some more, catch some more bugs for us, and we'd start fixing it as we went. But eventually things start ramping up, and we need a lot of people thrown at the problem, and that was a lot more recently. I don't have the exact number. Peter will have that, but it's been going almost from day one. We've been doing a little bit of testing, but it really ramped up at the end.
I like the commentary here because it was so true. It looks mind-bogglingly complicated, and bugs could be scary. Imagine if your gear suddenly became unreachable when you deleted a template. And that's one of the things that you were trying so hard not to hurt people's gear, not to mess up people's things, people's inventory.
Yeah, and we do have the case or code written that should catch if an item happens to get into the state where it's stuck in this new armory, but no template is using it anymore. That will run and validate that everything that's in this armory should be there, and if it's not, it kicks it back to your inventory. I believe it runs a map load, so if you're seeing any issues, try a map load, because that should clear it up.
Okay, so when this releases,
we tried to put in as many safety nets as we possibly could.
That's great.
Just safety nets all the way down.
Shouldn't be something you see in the first place, but God forbid, it's there.
It's gonna be okay. Yes.
This is really scary. This is so scary.
You guys have worked so hard. It's looking really, really good. But you did hear that. If something seems wonky, if you're missing something, switch maps, see if that helps. So just
Yeah.
remember that for 28 days. All right. Anything else that you want to mention before we wrap up?
Oof.
It's going to be okay.
Yeah. This is so scary.
I know.
And it's been such a long time coming. I'm so excited for everyone to try it out. I've been literally, when we first kind of turned it on internally to kind of show it off to some people, I was literally like, please check it out, check it
Yeah.
out. I'm so happy. Look, I made a thing.
Amy, y'all are like the whole team. Everyone involved
Yeah.
is super talented, crazy intelligent. Like, you got this. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
So.
Kudos to all of you for how far you've come, and the next 28 days are going to be epic.
Yeah, and honestly, best of luck to everyone still like ironing out the last of the bugs.
Yes.
We're on that final stretch now.
Yeah.
Thank you, home stretch.
I know you're tired. All right. Well, thank you so much for walking us through this and showing us how all this stuff works. So, and congrats in advance. All right. And I hope this was helpful for all of you and you kind of know how this is going to work and how you can prepare and what's coming. We have a whole lot of work to do in the upcoming weeks, but we are looking forward to the 29th, right?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, guys. I will let you two get back to work. I will let you all get back to your day. I am one of the two, I should say, the three of us.
Yes.
We will let you all get back to your day. Thanks for spending some time with us, and we will see you next time. Bye.